Looky, looky. I just found Mystical Force's older brother. And if you guys aren't related, you should be, by all accounts and purposes. My name is Superman19837, aka Jared. I live in Canada, and let me go on about this video, sir. Why do we attack Christians? Well, let me explain that to you. We attack Christians because, well, we live, most of us atheists on YouTube, excluding the ones in Europe and stuff like that, we attack Christians because there's an overabundance of them. And you go on to state that, we can't disprove Christianity. That's why we pick on Christianity. All the other ones are so fake that we can disprove them right away. Really? Really? Now, not stating that you may or may not have finished grade 6 or grade 7 for that matter, I have a problem with this. I can't disprove your God doesn't exist any more than I can disprove Thor doesn't exist, or Zeus doesn't exist, or Poseidon doesn't exist, or Hades doesn't exist. Let me go on here. Buddha doesn't exist. Let's see here. Yahweh doesn't exist, which is, the big guy, right? In your Judeo-Christian beliefs. So I can put all those guys into the exact same category, and I can't prove any of them don't exist. Why, you might ask? Well, most atheists like me and other people in YouTube that do these types of videos, we can't disprove them at all. Why? Because we go by the laws of science, right? The study of science. What is the study of science, you might ask, you retarded little man? Well, the study of science is the study of the natural and physical world. Let me repeat. The study of the natural physical world. Is supernatural anywhere in there? I know there's a natural, but is there a supernatural anywhere in there? No, of course there isn't. So we can't disprove using our laws of science that your God doesn't exist. But what I like to do is use the law of probability. The law of probability. Now this might be over your tiny little head, but let's take a shot at it. The probability of your God existing and the probability of your God not existing, what would you say would come out on the higher end? Right, not existing. Why, you might ask? Well, there's no circumstantial evidence that states that he's even real besides the Holy Bible. Now, in this Holy Bible, which is written by 40 people over 1,500 years, 40 different authors contributed to the Bible over 1,500 years to create what we know today as the New Testament and branches of the Old Testament, and everything just comes all together. Now, do you remember in school when you were a little guy, just before you quit school, around grade 5, they used to do these little tests, and what they did is I whisper something into your ear, and then you try to repeat the exact same thing into the other person's ear, into the other person's ear, into the other person's ear. By the time it gets to the end of the room, chances are what I whispered into your ear is completely distorted and is nothing like the first sentence that I made up. So, what would you say to a story as big as the Bible being written by 40 different people over 1,500 years? I bet you there's lots of distortion in it, right? Right. How can we prove that there's lots of distortion in it? Well, you say that your Bible is true. Fact. Well, before you get into this, I need proof. If you say your Bible's fact, I need proof that it is factual writings, right? Like there has to be proof behind it, which there's not. So let's go over some of the fairy tale parts of the Bible that I always love to go over. Let's go over snakes talking. Can't happen. Let's go over man made from dust. Can't happen. Girls made from the rib from the guy made from dust. Man living inside of a fish. A big one, like a whale. None of this stomach acids or anything like that affected him at all. He lived there and he got out quite fine. Moses which we can't even prove exists outside of biblical scriptures, along with King David and a couple other people. Parted the Red Sea, or what archaeologists probably think it was is the Reed Sea. Now, the great thing about the Reed Sea, or the Reed River, it's kind of around the same area where Moses was supposedly supposed to be, and on a good day, a good windy day, and everything's going right, it will actually dissipate back to where you can walk through where the river used to be, and you can walk to the other side. Now, to people back then, if Moses had stood up there and said, "Let the sea part," and 4 hours later, there was no water left, or a couple stupid people might say that he parted a Red Sea. Yeah. Well, let's get past that. Alright. So, I need fact the snakes can talk, and all the men, how the men were created, and that Moses parted the Red Sea. You have to prove that a stick, like a staff, can be turned into a snake. That was a good one. What else? Oh yeah, did I tell you that we've already disproved Exodus? That's a chapter in your Bible. Yeah, we can prove that's not even true. Other than that, what else? Zombie Jesus resurrected after 3 days, just rose from the grave just because he decided he didn't want to be dead anymore, because that makes lots of sense. And what else can we do here? There's actually lots of things that I could say about the Bible that aren't true, and that modern day science can prove not to be true, and also archaeological findings can prove that lots of the Bible is completely false. So, why do we pick on Christians? Is it because their religion is the ultimate religion and is the one that we can't disprove? No. All religions are pretty crazy. The Quran, which is a branch, all those people that walk around with bombs strapped to the chest and blow people up, the 40 virgins and stuff like that. Well, their book, the Quran, based off Judeo-Christian philosophy, right? Right. It's just a different guy with new prophecies wrote this one, right? He's a little bit crazy too, like Yahweh a lot too. Buddha. I love Buddha. Why do I not pick on Buddhists? Because they're pretty peaceful people. You don't see Buddhists walk around blowing people up or starting wars or anything like that. They like their bugs, they like their living people, and they keep to themselves. Why would I bother them? Well, they're not hurting the economy. They're not starting wars. They're not blowing up people for no reason because they're a bunch of horny, bearded, towels up here guy, and, they're just really horny. There's 40 virgins, sounds great to them right now. I could blow myself up and have sex for the next eternity. It's a good idea, right? No. So, Buddha doesn't really bother me. Krishna, they're pretty peaceful people too. See, I don't have a problem with religion. Alright? If people want to believe in a fairy tale, let them believe in a fairy tale. But when that fairy tale starts killing people, starting wars, telling people to strap bombs or kill infidels, or pretty much anything in the past. And if you look up wars in the past, I'm going to tell you, a lot of them are started because of religious belief. So that's why I pick on Christians. If you want to know why I really hate Christianity, you'd have to read the Old Testament, alright? And then, whenever they redid the Old Testament and said, you know what, this is kind of violent, and civilization's maturing, and probably not as gruesome and as violent as the Old Testament wants them to be. So, let's lighten it up. Yeah, let's lighten that up and say, you know what, that's enough. Let's rewrite this. Let's give it a new twist to things. So, they came up with, Jesus was born, nailed to a cross, zombie Jesus came, and, 2,000 years later, here we are. So, besides believing the world is 6 to 10,000 years old, and the universe is 6 to 10,000 years old, and all the crazy little belief systems that you believe in, you're crazy. Alright? And if you would like to provide proof that your God exists, be happy. I'd be happy to prove you wrong. So, do whatever you can, cite whatever you want, and respond back to me. You are nuts.